Benjamin Franklin once said, "In this world, nothing is certain, except death, taxes, and Scooby-Doo!" Scooby-Doo is an American institution, gracing television screens with chutzpah since 1969. The famous pup has appeared alongside the Harlem Globetrotters, Abbott and Costello, and alleged sexual abuser Vince McMahon. Ooh, maybe shouldn't have Scooby done that one. Regardless, Scooby and the gang have faced a variety of baddies, whether it be actual real-life zombies or sea captains who fake their own death to steal yachts. They've seen threats both real and fake, and have always managed to keep the monsters relatively kid-friendly, except for Ben Ravencroft, because we all know nothing is scarier than Tim Curry in a ponytail. This career staple of being appropriate for people of all ages is honestly what got me the most interested in Mindy Kaling's Velma, promising to be a darker and adult animated series. My first thought when reading that was, oh man, a darker and adult animated series featuring my favorite gang? Sign me up! I want to hear Scrappy-Doo say fuck! I kept reading the plot description only to discover a Shakespearean-level tragedy. They got rid of the dog. It's over. You might as well just call the show Dooby-Doo if you're taking out the Scooby. Now, many other people have issues with different aspects of the show, and I feel like I am either not the right person to discuss them, or just don't find issue with other things. So I'm gonna stick to talking about the lack of our favorite Great Dane. Now, during a panel at New York Comic-Con, the show's creators did give a reason for why they say Scooby won't be appearing in the show. When we were going into the show and thinking about adapting it, we wanted to be respectful. We didn't want to just take these kinds of beloved characters and put them in outrageous or gross situations and say, isn't that crazy we did that to Velma? So when we were thinking about what made it a kid's show and what makes an adult show, the dog Scooby is really what seemed to. We couldn't get a take on it that was, how can we do this in a fun, modern way? It felt like what made the original version a kid's show was Scooby-Doo. That coincided with Warner Brothers Animation saying, hey, you can't use the dog. So we were like, great, this works out well. It was a combination of them thinking that Scooby couldn't thrive in a darker setting, and Warner Brothers flat out telling them they weren't allowed to use Scooby in said setting. So, that's it, right? Case closed, go home, wait for the next Scooby show? No. I won't accept either response, for a very specific reason. The gang has already appeared in an animated setting with a darker tone, real death, and on-screen blood, and Scooby was right there alongside them. Now, if you've ever been on Tumblr, chances are good that you know that I'm talking about Scooby-Doo's crossover with the CW flagship show Supernatural, a show where two Midwestern brothers fight demons and have an unrequited love for a middle-aged angel man. The crossover, Scooby-Natural, premiered on the CW in 2018 and featured the three Supernatural protagonists, Sam and Dean Winchester, and Castiel, being transported into the Scooby-Doo Where Are You episode, A Night of Fright is No Delight. The Supernatural crew quickly discovers that the episode is not playing out like they remember, and the Phantom Shadow Ghost has been replaced with a real specter who promptly begins actually killing people. The Winchesters tried to convince the gang that the threat is real in order to keep them safe, but the gang doesn't believe them. Until Shaggy gets really hurt for the first time, causing everyone to freak out. The conclusion of the episode comes when the Winchesters find out that the Spectre is a scared ghost child, and they convince him to not only let them go, but pretend to be a man in a mask so the gang doesn't continue to have mental breaks. Mystery Inc.'s appearance on Supernatural is a fun one. It makes the Winchesters handle a monster hunt with a little more sensitivity than they would normally, and allows Scooby-Doo fans to see our favorite gang come face to face with their own morality. So, if we've seen not only the gang, but also specifically Scooby handle himself very well in an adult cartoon, why is Warner Brothers keeping the pup out of the fun in Velma? I know the reason. The reason they're afraid to tell us. If they include a funny little talking dog in their adult animated show, they're basically required to have Scrappy-Doo say fuck.